Today we're talking about what is a state. A state is a nervous system state. When I say state, I mean nervous system state that is reflected in the body, which can be posture, breathing, and type of energy, whether it's smooth and calm or buzzy or wired. Then emotions and mind. Mind is both the content of thoughts and also, how they're like, whether they're fast or slow, fuzzy or clear, things like that. And you could also say that a state is a polyvagal state, but it's more nuanced than just polyvagal state. And most of all, I want to say state is not just symptoms. Symptoms are actually a part of the state, but it's definitely not the whole picture. And we actually will try to not look at the symptoms when we're talking about state. So here is a polyvagal ladder. We have ventral vagal activation on top, safe, social, engaged. Then we have sympathetic activation, mobilized, agitated, frantic, anxious, and so on. Then we have dorsal vagal activation, numb, collapsed, shut down. And in between here, we also would have freeze. And so there are 4 states listed here, but I'm not talking about these states. For example, if I'm in fight or flight in sympathetic activation, I can be a little worried, I can be anxious, or I can be outright terrified. And those could be different states. In the same state, in the same polyvagal state, fight or flight, I might feel a strong desire to run and hide, or I might feel just a little bit of shakiness. And also, if I'm in fight or flight, I might feel, the need to punch somebody. That would be the fight part. And then as far as thoughts are going, they might be going really fast and they're unclear, like I can't grab them, or they're a bit fast and they're like hyper focused on this worrisome situation at hand. So you see, there are nuances. So we are talking about the polyvagal state, but we are talking about more nuanced state than just that. And I would like us all to do a nervous system check-in right now to see how our state is at this very moment. And you can check, what are my thoughts, like the content of my thoughts? What am I thinking of? Like, am I thinking this is weird? Am I thinking I won't be able to do this? Or am I thinking, cool, this is something new to try? And then the quality of thoughts. Are they fast? Are they slow? Are they fuzzy? Are they clear? And then what are my emotions like? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel frightened of something? Do I feel numb and disassociated? Am I angry at what my spouse said yesterday? Many, many different things. And you can also have more than one emotion, that can happen. What is my posture like? Am I collapsed? Am I straight up? Like, am I rigid? And what does my body want to do? Does it want to curl up, hide? Does it want to run away, punch somebody, sleep? And then finally, what is my breathing like? And I don't think I gave you enough time actually to check what your body wants to do. Sometimes, if you're not used to feeling into your body, it can take you a little while to figure out, what does the body as its own entity want to do? What would it naturally do if you wouldn't be making it do things? And then breathing. What is my breathing like? You can feel into your chest area, into your rib cage. How is it moving? Is it moving more in the belly area? Is it moving more in the chest area? Or even the shoulders? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Does it feel relaxed or constricted? Does it feel spacious? Or maybe like there isn't enough space in your rib cage? Or like it can't open up? So this would be your state. And again, I didn't include symptoms because we are already focusing on them way too much. And by focusing on symptoms, we are losing all the precious information we could be getting about our nervous system. So this is why when we do the nervous system check-in, we focus on these other things. Now, the interesting thing is, for many symptoms, an unhelpful state will come first, and only later the symptoms will follow. Sometimes that does happen really quickly, but other times you have half a minute or several minutes, and later on during the later stages of recovery, you can have hours before the unhelpful state has started and before the symptoms will follow. So if you can become more aware of your nervous system states, you can then stop symptoms before they start. So it's a really useful skill to have. And the question after doing the nervous system check-in, the question to ask is this state helpful? Let's see some examples of thoughts. This symptom means that I overdid it. Or this symptom means that there is something physically wrong with my body. Or I must do everything right, or I will never recover. Or I am uniquely broken. No one is as broken as I am. Therefore, I can't recover. Or, oh no, I've got some symptoms. What if they get worse during the day? And what if I can't do what I wanted to do and the whole week will be lost? And, going from some symptoms right now to the whole week being lost, not making progress, and so on. And some examples of emotions: fear, anxiety, urgency, pressure, feeling worthless, having toxic shame, feeling hopeless, helpless, defeated, feeling like a victim. Obviously, all the things on this page are unhelpful states. But let's say you are not sure when you check in, you are not sure whether that state is helpful or not. Let's see these thoughts. I am uniquely broken. No one is as broken as I am. Therefore, I can't recover. And the feelings that are going with it are feeling hopeless, helpless, defeated, and victimized. And so to decide whether a state is helpful, even though this one might be pretty obvious that it's not helpful, but for any state to decide whether it's helpful, the question is, where are these thoughts taking me? Like down the road, if I keep thinking these thoughts, or if I can imagine somebody else thinking these thoughts, where would that take them? Are they making me more or less able to deal well with this current situation? Also, the emotions that I'm having, are they making me more or less able to deal with this? And then, are they taking me toward recovery, or are they taking me toward more symptoms? And finally, are they taking me to ventral vagal, safe and social. And here are a number of examples of what you might feel in ventral vagal safe and social state. You will not feel all of this at once. If you only feel one of them, that's awesome. They can be calm, connected, acceptance of the situation, allowing what is, feeling confident, relaxed, at ease, feeling agency or feeling empowered, feeling gratitude, hope, optimism, love, feeling worthy or good enough, feeling happy, joyful, curious, adventurous, playful, creative, feeling awe or wonder. If you can feel any of these, and there are probably, many more that I didn't think of, then you are in ventral vagal or moving closer to ventral vagal. And that is going to take you to recovery. If the state that you are in is not taking you to ventral vagal, then most of the time that state is not helpful for you for recovery. Now, how to shift states? First, we need to know that state shift is when any of these components change or when symptoms change. And we'll be looking mainly right now on when other components change, not symptoms, because that is actually the most important part. So when thoughts change, when emotions change, when your posture changes so that you feel good being in a different posture, not just forcing it, but when you can actually assume a different posture and feel good in it. And then when what your body wants to do changes, for example, body felt like it wanted to run away a few minutes ago, and then you did some breath work or you did some parts work, and now it's much more calm, and now it feels safer being here without running away. That is a state shift. And also when your breathing changes, right? And of course, I'm assuming for all these changes that they are positive changes, that they are moving you more toward ventral vagal. So state shift is when any of these components change. State shift is not only when you have like complete flip of how you're feeling, even a 10% shift counts. You don't need to change everything at once. You can stack these shifts. For example, maybe you start with a brain retraining round and it only changes your emotions by 10%, but the rest is still the same. And you go, okay, let me do some polyvagal exercises now. And you do them, and they change maybe your posture by 20%. You are more able to be upright. You were collapsed before, and now you're more able to be upright. And your emotions are also 10% better. And they were also 10% better before, right? And now your thoughts are maybe a little bit clearer after those polyvagal things that you did. And then you go, okay, so my emotions are a bit better. My thoughts are a bit clearer. I could do some parts work now. And then you do parts work, and parts work maybe, increases your wellness, so to speak, by 30 or 40%, because now you're actually getting to the root cause of why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And when you're able to change your state by a big percentage, then you will, with time, with practice of this, you will start seeing shifts in your symptoms as well. So you want to stack these shifts and move up the polyvagal ladder with them. And remember that recovery is an experiment. Nobody can tell you exactly what you need to do, and you just do that and you recover. Or, at least you wouldn't be in this group if that would be the case, because you have all done some brain retraining programs already, and yet you are here. which means you need to take charge of your own recovery. You need to find what works well for you and what works even better for you. And through these things that we will talk about, through checking your nervous system state, and through experimenting with how to shifting this state and stacking the small shifts one on top of another, you will find your own recipe for how to recover. Now, there are many ways how to shift. We will mainly be working with these three inside the triangle, which is we'll be shifting through mind tools, tools that work with emotions, and tools that work with the body. There are also external ways to shift. Well, this one is kind of internal/external, which is spirit, connection to God, or connection to universe, or connection to any sort of higher power that you believe in. That is kind of internal external, right? It interfaces outside. Then there's connection to other people and also other mammals. So pets are also included here, and connection to nature. And you can use all these 6 things: mind, emotions, body, spirit, people, and nature to shift your state. So you have many, many options how to shift it. Now here on the left side, there are quite a few ways to shift, going roughly from the mind down to the body. That would be brain retraining rounds, journaling, cognitive distortions, looking for cognitive distortions in your thinking, perspective shifts, changing the meaning, changing the beliefs, doing affirmations, meditations, then being with emotions, naming emotions, which brings emotion from, this feeling part of the brain. It connects it to the verbal part of the brain, and that gives you more ability to work with it. Soothing touch and words, so self-soothing, inner child work, parts work, EFT, somatic tracking, polyvagal exercises, somatic exercises, walks, qigong, yoga, and doing whatever your body wants to do, which is in some cases more helpful, in some cases less. If all your body wants to do all day, every day is lay on the couch, then I advise you to use other ways more. But at some point, you will start noticing that your body maybe wants to shake, maybe wants to punch a pillow, maybe wants to go for a walk, maybe wants to feel what it's like to be outside, maybe wants to move in a certain way or dance. And these are all the things that you can give to your body, and this will help to shift the state, because body is incredibly intelligent, and you can learn to use this intelligence to help you shift states. And also, with all these ways that we have to shift states, I advise you to keep records, because I guarantee you don't remember everything that has helped you shift state in the past. I mean, without writing it down, you probably don't even remember everything that has helped you shift state in the past week, much less, since you started doing stuff. And not even on a good day can we remember everything, but especially when we are in a dip and we need the most help, we often end up thinking nothing will help. So we tend to not do much. We're like in a dip when we would need the most, when we would need this work the most, we tend to do it the least, or at least some of us, because we don't believe it has ever helped, that it has ever done anything, when that is simply not true. If you try enough things, you will find shifts. At least you will find 10% shifts. And remember, you can stack those 10% shifts one on top of the other. And you can record how you stack them, that you started with this, and then you did this, and then you did this, and this is how you ended up. And the important thing is also when you record your stacks is what was the state that you started with? Because usually something that helped you when you were in dorsal vagal will not help you the same way when you're in sympathetic, and vice versa. Some things are universal, many things are not. So just record the state that you were in, record everything you did, and then the next time when you get into that state, try something that has worked for you before. It will be really helpful. And if you won't find something that has already worked, at least you will have a journal full of ideas what you can try that has worked maybe for other states, and you can try that. So this is how you make this work for you, for your unique nervous system. You can take ideas from others and check how they work for you and really keep a record of that, and then stack what has worked on top of one another. I hope this has been helpful.